And in fight 4, Rodrigo Vallejo, the Ro2. Facing off against Chip Rosales from Ro Marketing.
And Rodrigo's opponent, also hailing from Dallas, who runs Road Media. Please give it up for Chip Rosales. Rodrigo won the coin toss, and he is going first. You got 45 seconds. Speak into the mic so they can hear you.
Buenas noches. Hey.
Really quick, we all have heard several times that the average American is exposed to the brands on a daily basis 5,000 times, 4,000 times, 3,000 times. I really don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. We can deny that there are a lot of channels, consumers have a lot of options, so that's why it's going to be really, really good defining what channels we're going to use. And that pretty much comes from the objective. My point is, the objective is what sets up the strategy to select the right channel. Nowadays, channels have different strengths. Even in the channels, we tailor tools to get some achievements. And yes, messaging, execution is important, but it's objective what really drives the selection of the channel.
Great job. You got 45 seconds, Chip.
And I made sure I was on that team that sounded like that. The sheer number of channels that are out there make Mark me like Game of Darts. You're just throwing content at every available channel that's out there.
But we have budgets that we need to adhere to. We've got businesses that want to make sure that we are actually meeting those objectives, which is great. But in order to actually make that happen, you've got to have content that resonates, that is brand authentic. And by doing so, we will transcend all the changes that are happening on all these channels, and we're going to make it easier for us to be able to find other internal investment of people who we need to create supplemental content that we're going to need to scale.
All right, you got 30 seconds to rebut. Go.
Okay, I don't deny that we get good content. That's key, obviously it's key. But even content starts from the objective. We gotta know exactly what we're gonna come to the campaign. If we sell this brand awareness, whatever it is, and that is gonna determine not only the channel that we're gonna use, but it's also gonna determine the content that we're gonna do.
30 seconds to rebut.
There is no wrong kind of content.
And I think what happens in what we're looking
If you are a company that is being moved by people who can do white papers
or who are able to do great videos or do short form or long form content, there's no wrong form of content. There are wrong channels for content. And so what's really important
All right, so content's gonna break through. How are you appealing to the young 20s that got one AirPod in, their phone out, the TV on, and every other screen in front of them?
Hey, she's asking you, and then you're going to rebut. 15 seconds.
We are dealing with 5 generations of people who are in the workforce right now. The boomers are on their way out. There's this tsunami going on.
I think he just pointed at me.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm almost 50. So we're on our way out. And then what's really important, what we really need to understand though, is that you've got to be able to educate, and we need to surround the younger audiences with what the older generation knows and those experiences. That comes through content.
Never heckle a fight if that was the first. Yeah, don't make fun of my age. 50, you have to respond. You can pass, but that might hurt you.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't know if the question is how you will appeal to them. It's what you want to get from there. So it's actually the objective that you need to say, and obviously there is the right channel to make sure that you make the content with them, but you make it exactly the channel that it is going to determine the action that you want for every day.
All right, now we're matches to rebuttal. You got 30 seconds to go.
I think it's important that we use content authenticity to dictate the channel choices we make. It should not be the other way around. When you start looking and say, we're going to use this channel definitively, you handcuff yourself creatively. And so it was really important that you give yourself an opportunity to use the channel, to use content authenticity to dictate channel choices.
30 seconds, Rodrigo.
Well, I think content is important to have good content, but we cannot let the content dictate what channels we're going to use. It's a matter of structure. You got an objective, you select the channel that is going to meet that objective, and then you create an amazing content based on those specs that we're going to have. If you everything go right now, you know what? It's going to work.
40 seconds.
Content, if you can figure out the right mix of content, what you're going to happen with these objectives is you start having these conversations around, we got to use these channels. AI tells you to do this. It's very easy for us to move into this area of heat warmness. And that is what AI has done a lot of, is it's made everything go to the center. That might be good in politics. It's terrible in brand.
All right, that was awesome. We're going to get 2 questions now in addition to the buzz, and Vinay's got the very first question. You're up, mate.
Okay. So tell me precisely, as we learned earlier in this Fight Club, there's a tug of war between branding performance. There's a tug of war between how you're going to use influencers and who you're going to select. So within that framework, how can I use, last thing I forgot to say, if you keep going back to objective, which I think is right, but the objectives for CMOs is always multifactorial. It's never going to be, my objective is one thing. I got to build the brand and I got to sell whatever, cars in my case. So give me your framework, knowing that the objectives have to be multifactorial. How do we take a framework to solve panel clutter?
Perfect. Well, off that question, actually.
You got 15 seconds.
Okay, because what I think is that you don't do an overall campaign for everything that you do on your brand. You do different campaigns, and different campaigns have different objectives. So if you have a branded objective, then you're going to select the channels that are going to work toward that. But if you need to sell tickets for the Rangers, or you need to sell Southwest Airlines tickets, you want to be the last click for people to actually purchase that ticket. And that way you give you a chance to be very paid.
50 seconds.
As a strategy trust, we use a framework called 80-15-5. We find content that works we find a channel where 80% of our content will resonate. We look for channels where somebody else has been doing something effectively. We spend 15 on these newer technologies and these things are happening. Dark social is a great place, Reddit, etc. You start finding ways to play out on the 5%. And what you find is the 5% becomes 15, and then especially the 15 is part of your 80.
All right. You got a question? Go.
It sounds like a lot of the problems are the result of very undisciplined clients. Why don't you guys man up and reject crappy briefs for teasing of you?
Is it okay to just say amen?
Hold on a second. Do you really want an answer to that question? Okay.
The CFOs, you don't always get to see the briefs. We need you guys to tell our teams to pass in, reject the briefs.
Okay, I picture Rodrigo was asking me about that question, and I couldn't hear it.
Remember I was Pakistani, so I couldn't hear it.
She wants to know why you don't beat up her teams for briefs, for bad briefs, which is she's giving you permission to punch her. So, go ahead. Who wants to punch first?
I think the answer is amen. That's exactly what we need to do. We do need to stand up and say this is exactly what needs to happen. And that's where the content authenticity, we push back all the time saying, you know what, that doesn't sound authentic to who you are and what you do.
And I'll stick to my point. I think it's about the structure. And you need a structure to do what we do. We need to be creative, and as a marketer, we gotta be responsible because content can be emotional, and we can be driven by that. But guess what? Leave the emotion to the audience. We gotta be rational, and we gotta make the right decisions, select the right channel.
All right. Another excellent play, I do believe. And let's see who won, all right? Who thinks Rodrigo won this fight? How about Mr. Rosales here, Chip? But we do have a winner. Able says the second members will. Here you go.
Vamos, Venezuela!